Okay, it's 3 minutes past. Looks like it's going to be a small audience today, so nice close-knit group. So feel free to chime in, ask questions. We're really happy to have you here, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. So today we're talking about the service operations experience. So specifically the service operations workspace and the new, how that new user interface brings you a great experience. There we go. All right, just the usual safe harbor slide here, in case we do talk about anything that's forward-facing, forward-looking statements. That information is based on what we know today and should be used carefully. So we are running, this is part of a webinar series, which we're running almost every week, I believe. I believe we have a session every week. So if you're interested, please check out the upcoming sessions and join us at future sessions. So you can scan that QR code, or I think G2 might be putting the link in the chat as well for you to be able to check the schedule of upcoming sessions. So just some housekeeping. We should have plenty of time today for Q&A at the end, but happy to take your questions as we go. Just use the Q&A button and plop your questions in there if you wish. Or yeah, there's only a few of us today, so feel free to unmute yourselves and ask verbally as well. So this session is going to be recorded. It will be shared on the ServiceNow community. And after the event, you'll be prompted with a short survey. So we're always looking to improve our sessions. So any feedback that you have, that's always helpful. So a little bit about myself. My name's Alex Chung. I'm a product success manager here at ServiceNow. I deal specifically with the ITSM and DevOps products. And I've been with the company for over 8 years now. And in that time, I'm lucky enough to have been part of the first cohort to do the Certified Master Architect program. So I am a Certified Master Architect, which means I'm experienced in guiding our customers in their transformations using our products. All right, so to get us started, we might start with a quick poll and figure out how to, there we go, how we can launch it. So this is just to give us a little bit of an understanding of what you know about service operations workspace. So I think we can guide our conversation track today. We've got 3 of 3. Okay, so in the poll, so we've got some. Okay, someone has heard about it. I'd like to know more. One of you thinks it's on their adoption roadmap, and oh, somebody's already using it already. So if whoever's using it already, I don't know if you'd like to come off mute and maybe share some of your experience at some point, that would be great as well. I'd love to hear what you think of it so far. All right, so for the other two, what is service operations? Well, if you step back for a moment and assess the current state of the enterprise technology, what you'll find is there are a lot of competing demands. So there's lots and lots of complexity with cloud native applications and environments and with today's environment of everybody working from home post the pandemic, there's really an increased reliance on technology services. Everything needs to be up and running and smooth. People are demanding 24/7 support because you've got global workforce, people work at home anytime they want. So there's a lot of demand, and budgets, unfortunately, do not increase. So we need to find efficiencies. So when you bring together technology services and operations into a single data model, that really helps you with those efficiencies. It helps you to find better ways of doing things, helps you to prevent outages before they happen, deflect issues from ever reaching a service agent with self-service through virtual agents and using AI and machine learning. So for example, by bringing together change management and service mapping, you can easily see the service impact on plan change before approving it. So when service and operations are consolidated, you also get the benefit of high IT service management data, crucial historical data, and real-time context for IT operations. For example, finding similar previous incidents when you have a service outage. You can accelerate service restoration by identifying potential root causes or how an issue was fixed in the past. So everything works more seamlessly together. Incidents are routed to the right internal teams or vendors and for resolution, and discovered CIs and service maps from IT operations management create a service-aware CMDB. So, a lot of benefits of bringing those two together. Some of the key use cases that can be solved more efficiently. You can see there unauthorized changes, major incident management, service outages, dealing with service outages and reducing service outages, and also DevOps. So all those are use cases which benefit from bringing together service management and IT operations. So what we've done from a product perspective is bring that together in one user interface called the Service Operations Workspace. And it's really a reinvented way, reinvention of the core of the past, where we had separate incidents, separate operating workspaces. And what we've done is brought that all into one. So the Service Operations Workspace provides a more unified experience by combining the previous workspaces that we had before, the ITSM agent workspace, the operator workspace, site reliability, operations workspace. So they're all replaced by one single service operations workspace. And all those functions to the right there are all available within the service operations workspace. And there's more and more being added, actually. So that's this picture is just indicative. So some examples of use cases using service operations, just to help illustrate what I mean by bringing that all together. So for the agent or the operator, how does that service operations workspace, or how would it work to reduce MTTR? Well, firstly, they get a more delightful experience, simplified view, a new user interface. They are able to see, the impacted CIs because the CMDB is more service aware. So that is all surfaced through the service operations workspace. Agent assists, so suggesting knowledge-based articles, relevant knowledge-based articles, suggesting similar incidents. All that is serviced through the service operations workspace, as it was previously in the agent workspace. You have collaboration with Microsoft Teams available as well. So that is all integrated within the service operations workspace. You can create, from there, they might create a major incident and then close the incident, investigate and close the incident. So all of that is surfaced to the operator through the service operations workspace. And it really is the new version of the agent workspace. I don't know if you've used that before, but this is replacing the IT agent workspace. Service operations obviously also leverages all the capabilities of AI and ML as well. So from the IT operator side, they will be surfaced predictive alerts of potential issues. They will be surfaced through a dashboard. So what you used to see in the operator workspace with the service view, you'll see that within the service operations workspace as well, and we'll see that later in the demo. And then through that, they have lots of data at hand, which is brought in through various things like ACC, and all that information helps them verify the probable root cause. And then they can use remediation playbooks, which is also available within Service Operations Workspace, to help them resolve and close that alert, and hopefully bring the service back to green. Okay, so some key aspects of the Service Operations Workspace just before we go into the demo and show it to you. So you'll see that there's a landing page. So the landing page is persona based. So depending on who's logged in, they'll see a different landing page, and that's obviously all configurable. And that landing page will surface the most important information to that user for their day. So some of the information you'll see later is, the outages, service announcements, assignments for you to prioritize your work. You'll be able to see, it says incident here, but it's really more about the detail of the record. So incident being an example, so you can see, and it's all contextual. So, if you drill down into the incident, then you'll have the related records, and you'll be able to see that all within that agent workspace. You'll have the ability to have experts on call. So that is now really accessible through the Service Operations Workspace. It appears on the right panel, and you can see who's on call, and you can reach out to them. You can collaborate with them through Teams. And then there's also a recommendations framework as well. So that leverages the machine learning to be able to provide recommendations for the agents to more quickly resolve issues. Okay, so that's going. I'm just going to check the chat if there's anything. No questions so far. Okay, so let's jump into a quick demo. So I'm gonna, let me just, oh, my computer is thinking. Let's expand that. All right, so I'm just logged in as an agent at the moment, a level 1 agent. This is the Service Operations Workspace. So yeah, it's been, we've moved to the Service Operations Workspace because it provides a lot of accessibility requirements as well. So the older user interface didn't meet all the web standards and accessibility guidelines, whereas the next UI has been designed for that, as well as the workspace within the next UI. So if I just show you here, you have a whole bunch of accessibility options, which will affect the workspace within next UI. So I can even do things like, change it to dark mode. But I don't really like dark mode. I've tried it, it hurts my eyes, so I'm going to go back to default. All right, and there's various preferences as well, which we won't get into, but there's a lot of configuration that you can do. So just an overview of the landing page. So this is the landing page that you would see, the default one that an agent would see. It has a lot of, it tries to surface a lot of information. We can just close this off actually. Tries to surface the most important information for the agent to help them resolve things quicker. So from over here, you can see, you can quickly understand what are the incidents assigned to. This is my team's work. I can also go and see my work. Right, so you can quickly see these are the incidents assigned to me. How are we doing with SLAs? What are the unassigned incidents? You'll notice on the right here also prominently is announcements. So you can quickly understand what are the current outages, as well as any other announcements that there might be. It also surfaces upcoming work. So what's due today, what are the tasks due today and tomorrow. So nothing coming up tomorrow, but these are the things that I need to have a look at today. So that helps you, again, prioritize what work that you might have. There's a section here for quick links as well. So this is personable. So if I have anything that I need to access, frequently, I can create my own quick link down here. And then obviously you've got some history there of recently viewed records. So there is, it's not showing on mine, but in Tokyo, we also have a new section here to help with adoption. It sort of surfaces new features and things that we can helps the agent with, understand more about the service operations workspace. I don't have that showing, but that's something we released in Tokyo. Also, on the right here, you'll have your different, this is the landing page, but you also have different other screens available within the workspace. So this is learning. So if you have coaching enabled, any sort of learning tasks that are assigned to me will come in here. So I can access that all within the workspace. There's this list as well. So you can create your own list. So there's lists that are configured for everybody or for different personas. Sorry, my instance is a bit slow, so clicking around is sometimes a pain. And my computer is also thinking. But yeah, so you'll have lists that can be defined. So you define that for everybody that's accessing the workspace. But then the individual can define their own list as well, right? I can, if there's a list, if there's some criteria for records that I want to see, I can quite easily do that as well. And you can start from an existing list, or modify an existing list, or create your own. Further down here, we've got the inbox as well. So this works with advanced work assignment. So it routes in, whether it might be walk-up interactions, or it might be chat interactions, or if you have IVI, it could be phone calls as well. So you can have that integration, and then it will all come into your inbox, and that's all managed by advanced work assignment. You also have a service dashboard, so we'll have a look at that a bit later. So I might skip over that, and just another functionality here called Express List. It's just another form of list, which is now available. That's a new capability. But if I just go back to home for a second. So I'm just going to go to my team's work. It's thinking. Sorry, it's not so much the product. It's just our demo instances are quite small and they're very slow. All right, so I'm just going to pick some unassigned work. So let me close this one. This is when I opened before, but I already assigned it to myself. Let me just pick another one. So as with Agent Workspace, everything is contextual. So I have the incident here, and then everything within the incident is going to be opened under the incident. So if I click anywhere within the incident to a related record, it's going to appear under this. So I could open another incident and have another tab there, and anything under there is going to be related to that incident. So that all really helps the agent from getting confused between working on multiple things at the same time. Okay, well that's loading. As you can see, this is the details or the overview page of the service. When you go into a detailed record, you'll see some key information up here. So getting surfaced so that it's quite easily accessible and readable. Obviously, these are things that you can configure as well. So if you wanted to see some other information up here, you could configure that. But I can quickly see, look, it's moderate, it's in progress. This is a service that's affected. This is a CI when it was opened. And then on the overview, some of the key things is the impact, right? Quite clearly, you can see there's one affected CI and no impacted services, which is a bit weird because that's a service, but this is demo data, so not all of it is may make sense. And we're trying to surface, like I said, we're trying to surface the most information, the most important information to help the agent resolve things quickly. You'll also notice the top thing here is recommendations, right? So with machine learning, with the recommendation framework, it's already coming and giving me a recommendation that there are similar open incidents to this, and there's 4 other recommendations, but this is the top one here, is to link this this incident as a parent of this one. So I can do that. Yep. So this incident is now a child of this one. Right. So yeah, just ignore this. This, like I said, there's demo data, so it's probably linking with multiple similar ones. I've already linked the parent, so we'll ignore that. You'll notice on here also is the view of the activities and work notes. So this has been brought up here because to stop you from having to scroll down, right? You can kind of see the latest notes here. There's obviously different ways you can see this as well. So you can see a stacked view or different or them separately. There's ways you can affect that as well. So you can close that off. Or have it wider. Just go back to the standard view there. Okay, and then on the right here, we have all the things which help the agent within that operations workspace. So we have, record information here. So this is going to surface, information that's accessible to you all the time as you're scrolling through the different tabs, right? So who's the caller? And that's handy information. There's other actions, handy actions that I might want to do assigned to me. All right, so that's all record information. And again, these cards can be configured as well. We have Agent Assist, which isn't new, but that also gets surfaced here. So I can different assist capability that's available there. This is surfacing the catalog items and the articles that are most relevant to this incident. So what I can do from the article here is I can oversee full view. So open it up to read more about the article. I can mark it helpful, and I can also attach it. And that'll automatically attach to the incident. We also have experts on call. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to set this up So I don't have anyone that's on call that's relevant to this service. But if I did, basically you would see a contact card here of who are the people that are on call against this service, against this roster, against this time, I should say. And then you would be able to make contact with them. So quite similar to here, you'd be able to start a Teams chat or have some other way of collaborating with them. So it would show their contact details, the number, and you would be able to do that from there. Okay, that's what else did I want to show on here. So, so one thing that we've added is we're working towards more and more being able to help the agents resolve the issues quicker. So one thing we've added is investigate. So there's an investigate tab. I can click here as well, but basically it will open up this tab. And depending on what, this is contextual. So depending on what the CI is, whether it's a server, whether it's a laptop, different things will appear here. So this is a Windows server. And then I'm able to actually see information about the Windows server that's being gathered from agent client collector. So basically, we have an agent capability now called agent client collector. We also are able to integrate with, I think it's Microsoft Endpoint Manager. That's now available as well. So if you have Microsoft Endpoint Manager, you can have that feeding information into here as well. So that all gets surfaced within the incident. I can start to diagnose this. I can see quite quickly, look, it's got 100% memory utilization, 100% disutilization has exceeded the threshold. So that's probably why there's been an issue here. You can also see what the top CPU processes are and top memory processes are. And like I said, this investigation tab is dependent upon what the CI is. At the moment, only laptops and servers can be investigated with this information. If it's something else, then you would get a prompt. So I don't have, metrics, but basically that information is being gathered from our agent client collector, or if you have it connected to Microsoft Endpoint. Cool. Okay, that's the usual details tab. We can see more details. We also have impacted services, affected CIs, all the usual related information that you can see here as well. And as per usual, if there's more information you'd like to see, this can also be configured. So just thinking, what else is there to show? So just showing some of these actions here. So there are some quick actions that have been configured. So again, you can make more actions, but from here you can create an instant task, create an outage, create a problem, create a request, create a change, typical things that you would do as an agent from an incident, as well as some more actions here. So I think I have a feeling this is one that I configured on my own system. I don't think this is out of the box, but basically this action would take me to the old view, the old form view, if I click that. So you have actions here that help you do what you used to do in the old form view with right click. So what I might do, that's basically, so this is sort of the agent view. This is the agent view. This is what an agent would see. I can assign that to me. I might also run the problem just to show you. And then you can see that from within here. I'm actually also going to bring up a change. Let's changes. Let's see. Let's shows anything useful. So with the latest release of Service Operations Workspace, we also now have, so before the latest release, you weren't able to see the change information within the Operations Workspace. Now you can. There's nothing in the overview page. Just refreshing. Yeah, so no change task. Oh, there you go, it's taking a little while. Yeah, so we've got a contextual view of the change as well. So this page will change depending on what state you're at. So if you're new, you're assessed, you're authorized, you're scheduled, you'll see different things here. And you can obviously take actions depending on which state it's at. You've got the usual details. And the other thing that surfaced within here is DevOps data as well. So if I don't have this configured, I don't have this environment integrated to DevOps, but if you do have DevOps data, that can be surfaced within here as well. So you can start looking at, well, actually this is specifically config changes. So you can imagine, somebody changed a property within an application service and it caused an issue during a change. You can actually surface that information in here. So you can configure, you can view and compare the snapshot of what the application looked like before the change and after the change. You can see what those configuration changes were. So I don't have that information here, but I think we showed that at a previous session, but that is now available here as well. So that's really useful to help you identify the root cause. I might also, I think there's something in the chat. Let's see. Mike One has a question. May I know what kind of configuration is required in affected CI in order to get the investigation options displayed there? Oh, yes. Okay. So the investigation tab, I believe it's something that we added quite recently. I think it's in version 2 of the plugin. So the Service Operations Workspace plugin, it's released via the store. So we release updates every, I believe it's quarterly. So you might have version 1 of the Service Operations Workspace. So just make sure you've got the latest version, and that should add the Investigate tab. Hope that answers your question. So what I might do now is I might just jump into, yeah, great, thanks everyone. I might just jump into the operator side. So again, like I said, it's the one workspace, but depending on who you are, you'll see different things. So I'm logged in now as a different person, as an operator, and this is the landing page I get instead. So it's more focused on what an operator would be interested in, obviously alerts, monitored services, open alerts, alerts inside to me, that type of thing. So what I didn't show you before was the service dashboard. So this used to be within the operator dashboard from ITOM. So this is now within here. Just taking a little bit of time to load. But yeah, this is sort of what you used to see in the operator dashboard. So I can quickly see, what are my most critical services, prioritized depending on, how you've got that set up. This is currently grouped by business criticality. I could group it by various other options that you can see there. And this configuration is a global view. I can also create my own view or different views to see this information. Doesn't want to change. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll leave that as it is. Oh, there we go. It's just really slow. All right. Over here, we can filter service alerts. So I've just got it filtered by priority at the moment. So I can open up this alert. That's what I have open before. Sorry. This is 489. Yep. Yep. So under this alert, I can see the details of this alert. All this information obviously coming through your monitoring tools. So this is an alert group with alerts in the group. You can see all the usual information, affected CIs, impacted services, lots of all that information available in the overview. And then obviously you have the detailed and related records. If I drill down into one of these alerts, because my system's slow, I kind of clicked on it before, but if I drill down into a specific alert, I can then see a lot of information now that's coming from your monitoring tools. So I can see, oops, I'll start over in the overview. So this is, we were looking at the alert group before, now we're looking at a specific alert. You can see anomaly detection here, right? So what were the metrics that were fed in? Why was this not anonymous? I can't say the word, but why was this an anomaly? And then over here, you've got utilities to help you drill down and diagnose what's going on as well, right? So you can quite simply launch a Google search or launch a dependency view to drill down on the service map to see where this alert is coming from and what it's affecting. Yeah, like I said, what you have also is metrics. So the information that's coming from your monitoring tools, that's fed into here. You can see that all within this workspace. So again, keeping with the theme of seamlessness and bringing everything into the service operations workspace so that you have all that information on hand. If we use the metric explorer, we can look specifically into more detail about a metric. And then you can quickly see, as you can see here, this one has, it's hit 100% this usage. So there's obviously range data as well. So you can change between when you're seeing this information from. And yeah, there's a lot more to it, right? There's a lot more capability. So log viewer, you can start analyzing the logs. I think that's probably enough for today. There's a lot more technical stuff that you can do on the ITOM side. I'll just wait for this to load. And then I think we'll probably stop the demo there. Oh, actually, there's one other thing which I wanted to show, and we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. There we go. Yeah, so I don't have any data, but this is basically a log viewer. So you're able to visualize the log within the service operations workspace as well. There's one other thing which I wanted to show. Just going to stop impersonating the agent. So I'll go back to admin. So this is an admin function next, which I'm going to show you. So something we released in Tokyo, I believe, is a guided setup for service operations workspace. You can access it via adoption services guided setup. That's loading for a couple of questions. can you share us? Can you share us a link to start testing these features in our PDI, like how to install? Okay, so implementation approach. Okay, yep. So we'll cover resources and implementation approach coming up. So that was from anonymous attendee. I don't know who that is. Lakon says, I joined late and I'm not sure what did I miss out on the demo. Where can we add child incidents in the workspace? Okay. I'll show you that in a second. Let me come back to that. Add a child incident. Okay. Okay. We'll see if we can come back to that. But basically what I wanted to show you here is the guided setup. So you go here, we now have a guided setup for service operations workspace. And talking about implementation approach, this kind of helps you with that implementation approach. So there's a couple of, that's not coming up, but there's a couple of experiences here. I'm just using the best experience one. There's also a quick start experience as well. And what this is, you know, it's quite similar to what you would be used to with guided setup. It will walk you through steps on what to do. So it surfaces information, you know, what are the key features? So this will take you to documentation. I probably should have clicked that because my instance is so slow. But yeah, it's like riddled throughout the guided setup. There's this actually, I don't know why, but this should actually render in here. So you'll have documentation rendered within here. I don't know what's wrong with my demo instance, but you should see, you know, documentation links and things rendered within there. You'll have tasks. So potentially some foundational setup stuff. So most of this stuff, if you're already a ServiceNow user, you probably, your instance probably has all this stuff already. So it's just making sure it's stepping you through sort of all the foundational requirements that are required to set up the agent workspace. So this guided setup will walk you through that. So set up landing pages, managing interactions such as setting up agent chat, redirecting the service desk agent to landing page. This guided setup will walk you through those key tasks. All right. Now I might just park the questions. We will go through the rest of the presentation and then we'll see if we can come back to some of these questions. Cool. All right, so we're talking about the guided setup there and sort of implementation methodology, so how to get started. So this is one picture. It's one suggested route. You can do this different ways, but obviously the core components that you see in the guided setup are still relevant. It will just depend on where you're coming from, what capabilities you've enabled already, and what you need to do next. So you can see from a crawl perspective, from the basic perspective, you want to make sure you have the solid core capability up and running, and all of that gets surfaced within the service operations workspace. Next, you want to have a look at the more foundational machine learning capabilities, things like virtual agent, MS Teams integration, some of the ITOM stuff as well, like event management, health log analytics. So you can basically, throughout this journey, you can basically use the service operations workspace. It's just depending on what other capabilities you have turned on, is what value you'll be able to get out of the workspace. But this is one recommended path if you're looking at what do I need to do to enable all the capability within the service operations workspace, this is what you could do. And this is available within the Now Create. So we'll give you all the links for all of this stuff, so don't worry. And there's lots of implementation material within Now Create to get you started. Okay, so let's get to the guided setup. So this is what I showed you before. So this was released in Tokyo. Like I said, there's different experiences for the guided setup. So you can do a quick start. We can go through the best experience. This is a platform capability that you can configure your own guided experience on as well. Just an FYI. But we do have that available now in Tokyo. So actually, before we get to the poll, or actually, let's do the poll first, and then we'll get to questions. So I'm just going to see if I can launch different poll. That's not what I want. Okay, going to launch the second poll. So I know a few of you missed the start and you might have missed the first poll, but the second poll is really, so now that we've told you a bit more about the service operations workspace, what do you think of it? Are you already looking to implement it? We'd just like to understand what stage you're at, or really if it really misses the mark, we'd like to know that too and get your feedback. So I've got another 3 of 5. If we can get another 2 responses, that would be great. Okay, so looks like we're only getting 3 people respond. That's okay. I will end the poll and share the results. So, okay, so 2 people want to know more. 1 person is looking at making a start within the next 6 months. That's great. That's great. So we can definitely send you more information. If there's anything specific you want to know after we answer all the questions, make sure you reach out to one of us as well, and we'll be sure to get that information to you. So you're asking about resources. So here are some of the resources that are available. So there's a Now Create Success Pack. So that includes everything, including project plans, workshop decks, things like implementation learnings, all that's available on Now Create now. So that's available for you. We also have a couple of links there to product documentation. So there are actually 2 plugins. If you don't know, there's one for ITSM and one for ITOM. So it's the same workspace, but different capabilities enabled by 2 plugins. And they're documented separately as well. Because it's mainly because we have different product teams working on this product, so it's faster for them to create the documentation separately. But we have links to both products, so you can see that there. There's a couple of really good community videos, YouTube videos as well. So we'll have links there. So you will get this deck. We'll post this deck and this recording after the session, so you'll definitely have access to all of that. Okay, so let's now get to the questions that we do have. Okay, if anyone wants to unmute and ask a question as well, please do. But while we're doing that, let's see if we can answer the questions in the live Q&A. So I'll start with Lake One. I joined late. I'm not sure whether I can add a child instant to the workspace. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to impersonate the agent again. Oh, sorry, that's not the agent. Acme analyst is the agent. I'm not sure whether it's there by default. We do have related records. So go to the incident. Oops, what's going on? Yeah, it's loading. Sorry, like I said, my instance is really slow. Okay, so under related, it is there by default. So under related records, you have child instance. So this is basically a related list. You can add any related list here. So any other information, you can configure that. And then you would add it here. So I hope that answers your question.
Hey, Alex, this is Lei Kwan. Do you mind to go through the adding child incident process?
Yeah, sure. So I will
Thank you.
I will just click add. Sorry, unless there's something wrong with my instance. But basically you would click add.
Okay, so actually that's why I wanted to see. So do you see a pop-up box that with empty incidents display when you click add?
Yeah, so this is a demo instance, so I am not sure. But what I might do, let me jump into another instance.
Okay, thank you.
Let me jump into another instance and see what happens. This is a demo instance, and sometimes it breaks. So I'll jump into another instance. Okay, and then I'll ask, can you show us how the landing page is configured? Can I personalize the widgets on the landing page? Let's see. So don't do that. Let me do that from here. Let's go to the landing page. I can't do that as sorry. It's loading in my other instance. Yeah, so I'm trying to find. Sorry, trying to do two things at once. Let's see if this one's loaded. All right, so just bring in open incident. And we're just about on time as well. So I'll try and answer these questions, but if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to speak up now. So data records. And okay, and I can pick. So like one, that's what I'm, hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Cool. All right, so let's answer our next question. So basically the app has some configuration. So it's got a page, it's got a page definition, so different landing pages depending on what the event mapping is. So if I can get to it from here. So it is, I mean, this should be documented on the docs. I don't know exactly whether this is the best way to do it. I have to check that. But yeah, you definitely should be able to do it. I think you can also do it from here. Okay. That's probably a better way to do it. Let's go to landing pages. Let's go to this one. So it'll open in UI Builder. And then basically you have to do some training and you need to learn a bit about UI Builder. And from there, you'll be able to customize the landing page. I don't think I'm going to have time to show you much more, but yeah, but basically you open the landing page in UI Builder. Here's all the data visualizations. You can modify this to your requirement, and obviously, yeah. All right, let's leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time. If there's any further questions, yeah, feel free to reach out to one of us or just ping us your email or something, and then we can definitely reach out to you and try and answer your questions if you have any more. I hope that was informative. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I didn't bore you to death. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Alex. It is very informative session. Thanks, everyone.
Great, thank you.